What is up, everybody? We are back with some Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and we are going to be answering that question: should you pull on the Cloud Aerith Dragon Quest Tact crossover banner? So if you guys are new to the channel, and you guys like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Following with what we do here, hit that like button. Comment down below your thoughts on the banner. Another kind of quick word of note when it comes to me looking at these banners. If you have that one favorite character, you have to have everything for, as long as you got enough to get to the armor, the gear, go ahead and pull on the banner. If you're a whale, obviously this isn't designed for you. This is more designed for people who are trying to figure out how to, utilize what crystals they have, with also thinking about what could be coming up in the future. So that being said, let's kind of get into this. So this is a limited banner. These weapons are not going to be wish listable. Once this event is over, these weapons are gone. So it's one thing to keep note of. Let's look at the overall look of the outfits first. So I've actually been recently playing through the Dragon Quest games. I started, I don't know, what was it, about a year ago roughly. Started with Dragon Quest 1, or Dragon Warrior 1 in the US, and have been working my way up. I'm currently working through Dragon Quest 8 right now. I'm starting to become familiar with some of this stuff. So Aerith is from the first 3 games, the Aerith armor, and this looks awesome. The overall look of this thing is really, really good. I really do get the Dragon Quest vibes from it. Let's hide the UI there. I think the sword looks awesome. And, yeah, I think it's a good looking armor. Got the chain, the ring mail here. Looks really good. Overall, solid design there. And then let's take a look at Aerith's and her Supreme Sage outfit. Again, overall looks really good. I do kind of, like I said, I've mentioned this a couple times when we've seen this. I get the songstress outfit vibe. But again, it still looks really good on her. I like the design on the cloak. It's very, very subtle. It looks really good. Her headband looks awesome. The gloves, the dress with the belt, the boots. And again, even though the staff looks a little goofy, it is very Dragon Quest-ish. Like, that is 100% Dragon Quest. So overall, looks really, really good. I like the look of both characters. Now, that being said, let's get into the abilities and the stats and things like that, and see if this is worth a pull or not. So we're going to start with Aerith's Supreme Sage Garb first. So we get a boost HP to all allies. You're going to get 7% to all allies. Not amazing. That's definitely not going to be the make or break of why you should pull for this banner, for sure. And then the Sage's Wisdom here, healing potency plus 15%, physical magic defense plus 15%. She's got a few other types of gears that do this as well. Let's go party, pull an Aerith here real quick. Like, you've got the Bahamut Garb that does 10% potency and then 20% magic and physical defense instead of 15-15. And I think it's this one? Not that one. One of these others. There's another one she has. Maybe I just don't have it. Where it does a similar thing as well. So this is not her first armor that has something like that in that second slot. It's that first slot that really is the difference. And for me, the boost HP to all allies is just kind of a meh thing. So really, if you've got gear for Aerith that already does something like this, I don't think you need this gear other than if you just really like the look of it. The Supreme Sage's Staff. Alright, so base stats here, 480% magic non-elemental damage to all enemies. It's going to deal 20,000 additional non-elemental magic potency damage to all enemies. So this is, again, this is a flat amount. There are some enemies that have abilities and buffs that can lessen this, but outside of that, that's a flat 20,000 damage. Similar to like the Bahamut Greatsword for Cloud, or Tifa's. Tifa had some gloves that did that. Sephiroth had a sword that did this as well. So they were awesome when that first came out. When that Bahamut Greatsword first came out, I thought that was a sweet ability. Over time, it's really just kind of a small little chip damage. It's great when you're taking care of the ads to get rid of them, but it's not great for the main boss you're taking on. However, that being said, it is good for new players, to especially help clear early content when you're getting that base 20,000 damage, or as this goes up, this is going to increase, to really help you clear some of that content. That is one thing that it does help with is new players. Also, when her HP is 70% or more, you get the exploit weakness to all allies. So she's going to buff all allies with exploit weakness at 20% for 30 seconds. This is a solid ability. And it says it decreases summon gauge 100% on herself only. So this is supposed to be the trade-off. It does all this stuff and then takes away 100% of your summon gauge. Now, summon gauge. It doesn't say limit gauge, it says summon gauge. Most of the time, you're probably not running Aerith with a summon. You're going to be running her with her healing limit breaks. So if this doesn't affect the limit break gauge, that's not terrible. You know, this kind of almost thing gets negated. And when they originally announced this weapon, I think it was on X, the way I read it, let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. The way I originally read it was that the you had to use all the summon gauge to do that stuff. So here, let me actually pull it up now. So you can see here, I mean, it's kind of small. Maybe click on it, does it make it bigger? There we go. So it says, you know, enfeeble all enemies with Cloud's weapon. Aerith's weapon uses her entire summon gauge, but deals huge damage to all enemies. You know, I read that in a way that it was, it had to utilize all her summon gauge to be able to then do whatever this, you know, that extra damage was going to be, which now we know is this. But it seems like maybe that's not the case. Our ability-wise, we have boost HP and boost heal. Boost heal I'm fine with. The boost HP, I'm not. I would have preferred like a buff debuff extension here. I think that would have been better. To make this weapon more tantalizing. But anyway, and then we have magic attack boost 1, heal boost 1, and then cure the all cure spells 1. So the S abilities are fine. R abilities, like I said, I wish this would have been a buff debuff. Okay, so we take this up to OB1. Now, by the way, we're at 130 level, so all this stuff is now showing at a level 130. We do 580 magic non-elemental damage to all enemies. Again, that crit 10%. We're now doing 40% additional damage. The exploit weakness stays at 70%, or at the 70% health for 20%, 35 seconds. And really the only thing that changed there is you gained 5 seconds. You still lose 100% of your summon gauge. Boost HP is at 32. Heals at 24. Now the question is, would you main hand something like this, or would you offhand it? Because it has the all cure, you could easily main hand this and have something in the offhand. So that's what I'm going to look at it from that perspective. So we're going to look at this as you're getting the full boost. So 32 points is going to put you at 45% more to your HP. 24 to your healing is going to give you 30%. You're only 1 point away from that 45%. Alright, we go up to OB6, 750% magic non-elemental damage. She's doing quite a bit of damage here. Plus now it's 60,000 additional flat damage to all enemies. The exploit weakness is still 70% HP, but now it's up to 30 seconds, or 30% for 45 seconds. We had a 10-second jump, plus you gain 10% more potency. So that going from OB1 to OB6 is definitely a huge jump. Usually it's just a huge jump in damage, but this is kind of a huge increase right here too. Boost HP has gone to 40. So now you're at 60% to your HP, heal 40, you're getting 60% to your healing potency. And then finally, if you do take this up to OB10, 890% magic non-elemental damage to all enemies. So again, that's huge for an AoE attack. 80,000 additional non-elemental damage to all enemies. HP stayed at 70%. I kind of wish this would have dropped down to like maybe 50%. But anyway. 30%, that did not change, but it goes for 60 seconds, so for a full minute you're getting that exploit weakness. HP is at 46, so you're getting 70% to your HP. Boost heals at 56, so you're now at 80% to your healing potency. So my thoughts on this weapon. Yeah, it does a ton of damage. Aerith is not a DPS, and it's non-elemental. Non-elemental is useful in just a few scenarios. So, outside of a new player using this to really just beast through stuff because of the extra damage it's doing, I'm now looking at this weapon as more of this portion right here. It does exploit weakness at 30% for 60 seconds to all allies. Again, useful. Very, very useful. You are getting the all cure, but what are you replacing? Because obviously you've only got the 2 slots. What are you putting this weapon in place of? Because, you know, Aerith has been one of the characters that has, on top of Cloud and Tifa, well, not even Cloud, sorry, on top of Tifa. Tifa and Aerith have definitely been the characters who have gotten a ton of love throughout this game. I mean, if you look at just the weapons in general, I mean, Aerith's got 30, Cloud has, what I have, has 31, 22, 30, 23, 23, 13, 20, 18, 21. You know, even Sephiroth I only have 27 for. And I'm not saying that they don't have other weapons, but that I haven't gotten through different, you know, limited events and whatnot, but Aerith has definitely gotten quite a bit of love. But if we come in here and we look at her weapons, by the way, I got a 3-star copy of her weapon, but, you know, you've got things like the Crimson Staff that's doing increasing magic attack and decreasing magic defense. You had the Terra's Rod that's decreasing fire, ice, and lightning resist. You have things like the Bahamut Rod that are increasing P-Def and healing. You got the Kimura Wand, which is increasing P-Attack and increasing M-Def and doing a very, very, very small heal. You know, you've got things such as the Floral Wand, which is decreasing wind resist and decreasing P-Def. You know, the Citric Wand, which can increase magic attack and increase ice damage. You know, she's got a ton of other really good, useful utility in here, and now you're replacing one of those things. So, that's the one thing that really, in my opinion, hurts her on this one, is that portion right there. So really all you're getting is, you know, for the most part, is the exploit weakness. If you got Tifa in the party, if you got the Daffodil Gloves, Tifa can already do exploit weakness. Sephiroth can already do exploit weakness. Yuffie can already do exploit weakness. I think Vincent can too. So there's one, I know there's at least one other person who can, so maybe it's Zach. But anyway, it's one of those where if you don't have those things, I could see this maybe being worth it. But at the same time, it kind of loses a little bit of its flair because of that. And so if you do go for this, if you do want this thing, where do you want to go for it for? I don't mind having one copy of it just to have it, but I would say OB6 is a decent spot for this. As you know, per the usual, I mean, if you can get it to OB10, awesome. But OB6 is not bad. You're up to that 30% exploit weakness, and 45 seconds is still a really long time. And you're getting 60,000 extra damage on each attack. I mean, it's not terrible at this rate. Losing the 10% is kind of rough here. So OB6 would definitely be the place to get this, plus the R abilities, even the HP, aren't terrible at this spot. So that would be, if you really want to go for this, aim for OB6. And then we're going to take a look at clouds. So the Aerith's armor. Boost lightning potency plus 15. So you're getting 15 right away, automatically right here at this plus 25%. Now this is to the lightning potency. This is not the just lightning ability damage. This is adding into any other R abilities from weapons that do this. So you could easily get yourself up to the 65 points, no problem. And then what that helps with is that's going to allow you then to, instead of having a weapon that's boosting lightning potency, you can then take that slot and do something that does, you know, boost physical ability damage, boost attack, boost P attack all allies, boost attack all allies, boost ability potency, you know, tons of other things you could then slot into another spot because of that. You know, in an offhand weapon, this is replacing something that can do at least 30 points. So that's something to note. Hero's Aura does lightning ability damage plus 30%, attack stance, command gauge, physical ability plus 20%, HP plus 15. So again, this is kind of like our lightning, our new lightning arcanum, HP plus arcanum, mixed with that lightning ability potency. This is a solid outfit. That being said, does it replace the Murasame garb if you already had the Murasame garb? So let's take a look at that. So boost P attack plus 10 and lightning ability damage plus 35. With the weapons he currently has, it's really easy to get to the 55 points here. They almost need to go past level 7 here anymore, considering we have weapons that go even just to level 60 at this point, or 60 points. So losing the 10 P attack here is not terrible. You lose 5 points, you lose 5% here, but again, you're getting that 15% lightning ability potency. You're getting HP. You're getting the boost physical ability potency. And like I said, you can now slot out what was originally a boost lightning potency weapon for something that can do other utility. So it easily can replace this. This is definitely an upgrade for the Murasame Battle Garb, 100%. Is it one where if you've already got the Battle Garb, you don't even need to consider this? I'd say not necessarily. It's a really good upgrade for this armor. Very, very solid armor. Aerith's Sword, what is it doing? So it's another physical lightning damage weapon. So again, we can compare this to the Murasame lightning sword that Cloud has, which, if we go back to that, I guess I should have looked at that first. Let's go back to party here, co-op. Sorry, this one's a little bit longer because we do have two. It is a duel. Now I do have a brand on this, so let's just take it to here. 750% physical lightning damage to a single enemy. Done. 46 P attack, 42 lightning potency. P attack, triangle sigil. So, you know, again, even with this, let's say you don't get his weapon. You're main-handing this, plus the 15 points from his new armor, puts you at 57. I mean, you're already 85% lightning damage right there. Your P attack's at 46. You throw another P attack lightning weapon on there, you're done. The rest can then be slotted for anything else you need. Yeah, that's 3 open slots for just boosting physical ability, potency, and all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm saying the gear is really, really good. But now we're trying to compare weapons. So 70% physical lightning damage, P attack, lightning potency, 46, 42. Okay. So if we'll compare the ends here in a second, but 390% physical lightning damage to all enemies. If you're just going against a single target, 1.5 times extra damage, or it's going to be doing 1.5 times damage. So again, take half of this. So half of 390 is what? 195. Right? And then you add that to the 390, you're getting 585 damage to a single enemy. So it's already fairly close to the Murasame at OB10, just at base 0. If you're going against one target. It does Enfeeble. Enfeeble's great because what it does is every debuff that is on the enemy, it ups it by 1 tier. 20 seconds. It's going to last for 20 seconds, and if your HP is 70% or more, you're going to be lowering the M attack low to mid. It does boost P attack and lightning potency, P attack plus, these are all just level 1, and then circle sigil boost, so we switch out triangle for circle. All these stats are good. You can lower M attack, you can, again, add that Enfeeble. This could honestly be really good for, if you haven't finished, but Ramu. Lowering his M attack, and granting Enfeeble, and the lightning hit alt the enemies isn't terrible either. If you get it to OB1, you're doing 470% lightning damage, but again, if it's a single enemy, you're not doing 705. I mean, you're really close to the Murasame. He's just at OB1 here. Enfeeble's now 25 seconds. If again, HP is 70% or more, M attacks can be increased low to mid. So, not doing much there, but it does chip away. P attack is at 42. So again, you could be main-handing this, you could be off-handing it. I would not be main-handing this thing, probably unless it was OB6 or higher. What you could, in theory, do is off-hand this with the Murasame, and use this to boost your Murasame. It's actually what I do. I just have a OB0 or a base copy of this right now. I got it with the my 10 tickets that I got from the escalation battle, and I was able to get a single copy of this, and I'm running it as a secondary sword to the Murasame. I use this as basically to debuff and then hit with the Murasame. So I mean, it works really nice. It gives you the P attack and lightning potency. But anyways, if you, from this perspective, I'm going to look at it as if you're offhanding it until we get to OB6. Then I will switch over. So 42 points is only going to be 21. So you're giving yourself plus 15 P attack. Lightning potency is at 18, so really only 9. So you're getting plus 15 to your lightning ability damage. Again, still good mixed with the Murasame. Okay, you get this thing up to OB6. Now I'm going to switch over to main-handing this thing. It's doing 610% physical lightning damage to all enemies, but again, if you're hitting one enemy, that's 915% to a single enemy. So you're at OB6, you are just trouncing the Murasame if you're going against a single enemy. And again, you're also getting an Enfeeble now for 25 seconds. That has it's not increased, sorry. That has stayed the same. Has it gone up at all? Yeah, 20 to 25, okay. M attack has now gone from mid to high. This is a great spot to get this thing, because now you're chunking away at the M attack. Boost P attack is at 54, but again, like I said, I am now main-handing this thing from the perspective of it's doing better than the Murasame. So 54 is 1 point away from having your physical attack be maxed here. So you're unfortunately at 40%. Lightning potency is now at 30, so we get the full boost there. You're at 40% here to your lightning. really, really solid at this point. If you get it up to OB10, 720% again to all enemies, but against that single enemy. Against the single enemy, it's 1080 lightning damage. Again, this just dwarfs, or makes the Murasame just blows past it. Enfeeble's now lasting for 30 seconds. Again, not a huge long time, but not terribly short either. This is something I wish they would have done for Aerith here, but they didn't. But at OB10, the HP threshold is dropped to 50%. You don't need to be at 70% anymore. And it stays mid to high, which I'm fine with. If you're going to lower the HP threshold, you can keep these the same for 30 seconds. And I think that's went up as well. Yeah, 5 seconds. Boost P attack is at 62. You are fully maxed here. You don't need any other physical boosting weapon in your hand, which is also why I say that the Erdrick armor could replace the Murasame garb, because you don't need the P attack from that anymore. You're getting all the boosts from the lightning and all that stuff. Again, you could start really pumping your points elsewhere through other items. Boost lightning potency is at 42, so you're at 55% naturally just from this. You get the 15 points from the Erdrick armor, you're now at 57. You're at 85% with just these two items. You could then throw on an HP lightning boost, lightning potency weapon, or a attack lightning potency weapon to get yourself to this 100%, and then focus elsewhere. You know, it could be a great thing to do. And again, that's just in his main weapon. His main weapon and his armor gets you almost fully maxed in those two categories. That leaves you with 4 weapons that you can really just do whatever the hell you want with. So OB10 is a very good spot to have this weapon. It can be insanely powerful. I mean, even here, it's hitting almost as hard against all enemies as the Murasame does against one. And has a P attack of 705. This is a solid weapon. And like I said, it's still useful in my opinion even here as an offhand weapon, not as a main weapon. It's still useful here because again, you are getting that enfeeble. I think that is super beneficial. I wouldn't sleep on that. But that's kind of my thoughts on that weapon. Now, that also something we need to take into account, we have a new ultimate weapon. We have the Aldebaran. I haven't even gotten to that yet. We're 27 minutes into this video and I haven't even gotten to the fact we have a new ultimate weapon. The Aldebaran here, this is a weapon for Lucia. Lucia finally gets hers. The only one who's missing one, to my knowledge, I think, is just Cloud. And this is probably going to come during the 2nd anniversary. But the Aldebaran here is a 3-use weapon. It's one of few that do that. I think Tifa is the only other one that has 3 uses. It's going to do 2,000 physical, non-elemental damage to a single enemy, gives HP gain to all allies for 50 seconds. When triggered, it restores 10% of the target's max HP. Applies amplified physical abilities to all enemies, or all allies, and magic as well. Now, if you're not familiar with what these do, basically the next, it says here, the next physical command or magic command, ultimate command, so basically a weapon ability or a ultimate weapon ability, is going to increase that damage by 30%. This has to be timed so well to be super useful. So, yeah, you have to be really, really careful of that. You don't want to be running auto if you're using something like this, or you're going to completely waste this extra 30%. So it's very, very specific when you use this. You do get 3 uses out of it though, but it takes 50 seconds to charge after that first use. You're probably not going to be using all 3. It does give you a buff debuff of 22. So you're getting 80% naturally from that. Haste boost, 25. All allies are going to be starting with haste for 15 seconds at the very beginning of the battle. Again, it gives you that nice little jump on doing some damage, but keep in mind, my biggest problem with having haste at the very beginning of a battle is that it's going to fall off around the time that your command gauge finally fills, which is when you start actually doing more damage. So having the haste at the very beginning of the battle, to me, is not as useful as being able to have it after that command gauge maxes. Again, not trying to discount this. You can get a couple more chip points in, which is great, but you're not going to be doing as much damage as you potentially could be. But again, solid weapon. So, that brings back to the ultimate question here. Do you pull on this banner? So we have this till September 6th. We have it a little over a month. We're going to have it basically till, my guess is, right before the second anniversary hits. We are also potentially going to have at least one more banner based off the wallpapers. I'm assuming we're going to get a banner that has either Zack and Sephiroth, or we're going to get a single banner for Zack and a single banner for Sephiroth. I think this is I think Cloud's portion of this is a really good banner. I think Aerith's weapon is good for beginners. I think Cloud's is useful for everybody. I don't think it's an immediate you have to pull and go deep on this. I don't think it's terrible to get at least one copy of each weapon for now. Which, again, the stamp card on this is kind of weak. Again, this is where I did my 10 ticket pull that I got for free from I got from the escalation shop. It did give me 2 stamps. You only have 2 weapons on the first stamp card, and then your armor. Yeah, we get all the attacker and healer memories here, which, woohoo. Page 2 is 3 weapons, 3 guaranteed event weapons plus a 5-star, and then the other armor. Page 3 is 1 guaranteed weapon plus 2 guaranteed 5-stars, and then we get to the EX page. Not a great stamp card for a limited time event, especially when you compare this to the April Fool's Day event that we got, the high school thing, whatever, where like it was like every other one, the 2nd, the 4th, the 6th, the 8th, the 10th, like they were all weapons. You know, by the end of the first stamp card, you could have a weapon at OB4. So this stamp card is really, really weak. Like I said, it's one of those where I think 1 copy of each weapon is not terrible. If you have the Murasame garb already for Cloud, do you have to get this one? Have to? No. Is it a good replacement? 100%. It really just depends on where you're at on your crystal count. I'm only at 32,000, and part of that is because in the shop, by the way, they do have, in the DQ TAC crossover, I already bought it out, but for 1,000 blue crystals or 1,000 red crystals, I used blue, you can get 10 special gacha tickets. You can get a total of 50 of them for 5,000 crystals. I did that. And unfortunately didn't get anything from this event in there aside from the 3-star Sage weapon for Aerith. But yeah, it's a good banner. It's definitely a bait, but it's not a terrible banner to bait either. Is it worth going broken? No. You definitely want to have some crystals saved up for the anniversary. My best advice would be to wait until probably if we get Zack and Sephiroth together, wait till after that banner. Now let's compare the two. If they come separately, wait till after the 3rd banner, and then again, kind of make that decision of whether you really want to go into these. It also gives us a chance to build up a few more crystals, and decide, do you have enough that you're gonna want to pull into the 2nd anniversary. I can almost guarantee that the 2nd anniversary is going to be huge. At least it better be. And you're going to want crystals for that. So, right now for me, I'm going to hold because I do have 1 copy of each. One's only a 3-star, but I'm not going to pretend that weapon parts don't exist. If I really want to boost that thing up, as of right now, I'm not really that interested in it. But that's kind of my analysis here. Is I would say wait till we see what the other banner or banners look like. Then look at your crystal count and decide, do you have enough to spend to get what you want here and still have enough to get stuff in the second anniversary? Like I said, we're going to be getting that Cloud Ultimate Weapon. I can almost guarantee that in the second anniversary, and his is probably going to be something amazing. So, anyway, that's kind of my view on that there. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about this banner. Do you think that these weapons are better than I gave them credit for Aerith's? Do you think it's, you know, I gave it too much credit like the Realm of Clouds? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you disagree, agree? Let's kind of start that conversation there. What are your plans? Do you plan on pulling for this banner? Do you plan on kind of waiting to see what comes? Or are you just saying, nope, I'm holding off till second anniversary? So let us know down in the comments below. We're going to call that here. Again, if you guys are new to the channel and you guys do like what you see, hit that subscribe button, follow along with what we do here, hit that like button, comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.